Okay, I didn't do any kind of intro this morning to this video, but I sanded the Chevy Cruze parts and got them in the booth, painted them, and now I pulled the '01 GT in here and I'm going to start putting it back together. I still have to glue the window back to the regulator because it had came loose on this end. Still have to do that, and I'm gonna take the side skirt off because when I pulled the tape off of where I had it taped up, it peeled in a couple places. So I'm gonna take it off and blend that in and clear it. Try and do that today so it's not holding him up from picking the car up anytime soon. So I get that knocked out and just get the car put back together and get it to where he can come pick it up as soon as he can. But it all looks really good, even in here under the LED lights. Turned out really nice. So I'm gonna get to that. I'll show you a little bit later on the Cruze parts, and I did a spray out to see how close the color is going to match to this. And I'm still waiting to hear back to see if I'm going to need to fix the bumper or if I got the correct bumper on its way. But yeah, trying to get a few things knocked out today, and haven't been filming much, so I'll try and film a little bit a little later. Okay, I got the side skirt off. See right here where the tape peeled the paint off there. This looks to be painted originally, so it don't look like it's been repainted before. That or it was a new piece and they painted it. I'm not sure, but it doesn't look like it's got layers of paint on it. But I got everything else back on the car except for the door panel. I glued the window back to the regulator. Let you know how good the paint match. I actually forgot to paint the door handle cover, and shoot, matches pretty good to me. I put the wing on, and this is what I was afraid of. Both corners are wanting to stick up, and man, you got to put a lot of pressure down on it to get it to touch, and it's so much pressure that even if I stuck something on top of it to weigh it down, I don't know if I could put something. I mean, I could find something heavy enough to actually push it down to it, but once it comes off, it's just gonna raise back up. If you're in the comments and know how to solve that, let me know, because I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. And on this side, you can see the color is off just a little bit to the quarter. Depends which way you look at it. It's about a shade off, but I think it'll be okay. Out in the sunlight, it don't look too bad, but under these LED lights, they'll tell on you pretty good. But like this side here, it's the same way, and I mean it's where it's supposed to be. It's centered up pretty good in the keyhole. It's just, it is what it is. I don't know anything else to do for it to get it to fit better on the edges, and that's what I was afraid of. Like my car, it's got the OEM 03, 04 Cobra wing on it, and it bolts down and double-sided tapes. Now you can see it's a little bit of a gap, but it's made that way. It's not as big of a gap as the other one, but it's made to have a small gap, and it's bolted down so there's no risk for it to to go anywhere. That other one is only double-sided tape being held on with it. But in the morning, I'm going to sand that side skirt and blend it out, put some paint on it. That way, other than that, it'll be ready to go. And put the door panel back on in the morning. And I did a spray out of the color they sent me for this Jeep, and it is not right. I'm going to have to do something about it, because it is pretty much purple. It's got a really purple shade to it, and as you can see, there's not going to be no blending or matching that. So not sure what's happened here, but it is very purple compared to what it's supposed to be. So got to get with the paint supplier on that in the morning. And the parts for the Chevy Cruze is painted. It's actually a metallic color too. It's just I think it's something kettle black. It's very, very light metallic pearl, or whatever you want to call it, but turned out all right. And maybe it'll be dry enough to the touch tomorrow that I won't fingerprint it, and be able to start putting that car back together also. But that'll do it for tonight. I'm going to head inside. All right, I'm just cleaning up this 01 GT. That way it's nice and clean when the owner comes back and gets it. Vacuumed it out and wiped it all down, wiped the dust and stuff down. Checked to see how the window is doing against the rubber now. It's all fixed. There's no issues there anymore. And I got the side skirt painted this morning. It's in there drying. All that's left is when it's dry, put it back on, and he can come pick it up. Nice and clean over here on this side too. So this one is done. I'm going to back it out and pull in the Cruze, Chevy Cruze, and start disassembling it. The bumpers are sitting right over here painted, so that's next in line. Alright, I've started on this Chevy Cruze, got the front bumper off, got the intercooler off because it's busted. If you see me in the time lapse scratching my head a few times, it was because it took me a little while to figure out how these clamps worked. But figured that out. They've got a ring, metal ring that goes around them. Find out where my hand's at, and pushes up and holds it like that. You got to pop that ring out to let the intercooler pipe go. This one over here is made a little bit different, but it's the same concept. You get that metal ring off and up and out of the groove and they'll slide out. I had to go and write a supplement estimate, which I've already have the fan shroud on the original estimate. It just hasn't came in yet. But as I was taking it apart and everything, I noticed here that the mount for the radiator, you can see right there, is broke, and the mounts that the fan shroud sit on at the bottom on the radiator, plastic pieces, are broke also. So had to send that to the adjuster, make sure that's going to get covered, and order them, get them on their way. And like I said, I'm still waiting on the fan shroud to come in. So I'm going to start taking the rear bumper off to start putting the front bumper on, and probably take the rest of the front bumper apart and put on the new. That way when I'm ready, I can just put it back on. But this ain't going to get done today. Waiting on parts and waiting on availability, waiting on the approval of some more parts. Okay, you can see the damage in the intercooler. Don't forget when you go to change the intercooler to get the sensor out of the intercooler and put in the new one, because the new one will not come with it. It is a Torx head bit. One bolt holds it on. I believe it is a T15. I said it was a T15. It's actually a T20. I took it off with the 15, but noticed it was kind of loose, so checked it with a 20. It's actually a T20. And with that, the intercooler is ready to be put back on. I took a few more things off the front. That way it's going to be easier to change the radiator when I go to do that. I've got the rear bumper put on. Just sitting the parts in the trunk here. That way they're out of the way and ain't going to get messed up or anything. I'll put the old one in this box, get it outside. But other than that, I'm on a standstill with this thing. Other than the front bumper, I'm going to put the, like I said, I'm going to put the stuff on the new front bumper, get that out of the way. All right, I got a big boy in here now. Pulled the Chevy Cruze out. I'm gonna start on touching up the paint chips on this Dodge. He's got quite a few little nicks that he wants touched up before he has the. He wants to make sure that these chips are covered up before the rock guards go on there, just to help not promote any rust as best as he can. So I'm going to touch up them chips for him, and then start putting the rock guards on after them dry. Rock guards and fender flares sitting right there. You got dust all over them, but put them on, and then this will be done. I got the rock guards on. You can barely tell that they're on there. They blend in really good. Got the rear flares on and rear mud flaps on. I don't have the front. Flares on yet. I do have the rock guards on this side also. Because I didn't realize that there were two pieces, and there was a little piece that goes to the bumper. Until I opened the hardware package and found them in there, and they had some damage on them. So I had to put a little bit of putty on that, and I'm going to go in the booth and spray them real quick. That way tomorrow I can put the fronts on, and that'll be done with it. The fronts also get a mud flap also. Here is the side skirt for the '01 Mustang. It turned out good. You can see where the paint flaked off. It is fixed now, blended out nice and cleared all of it. So it's ready to go. It's ready to be put back on. But I'm going to pull this out and paint them 2 little pieces, and that should be done for the day. All right, I got the side skirt on, and I wanted to show you a couple things. This side skirt, like I said before, this car's been painted before, so I'm not sure what they had going on, but they had a screw, Phillips head self-tapping screw in it right there. For some reason, everything seemed like it was secure without that screw, but I put it back in there just to make sure nothing happens. And I forgot to show you when I took it off, but I'll show you now. They had in these holes, there's supposed to be push clips that goes in them, and there's one that's supposed to go in up there and one that's supposed to go in down here, but they got stainless bolts with a lock nut on the back side. I put it back in there like it's supposed to be. Some of them had the washer kind of in the hole, wasn't holding very good when I took it off, so I made sure they were a little bit better. And I assume the only reason that they've done this is because somebody has jacked up on the pinch weld and smushed it in pretty good. This one I've actually pulled down a lot because the side skirt wouldn't go up in behind it. So I pulled it down so it would fit pretty good and stay up there. And then up here in the front, they did the same thing, jacked up on the pinch weld. The jack point on these cars is where the fender bolts up. If you have an inner fender and it's on, you jack it up where the inner fender plastic is. This is where your fender bolts to I guess it would be the body of the car, the unibody, and it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled layered here, and this is where the jack point is. If you putting it on a lift, this is where you want to lift from too. This is the solid point of the car. Do not just because you see the plastic, don't worry about that, because if you try and jack up on it behind it, you'll end up with this right here, and it just smushes the pinch weld. Same with the back. Jack it up from the rear end if possible instead of the pinch weld, because you'll do exactly what somebody else did and smush in your rocker side skirt and your pinch weld. So I figured I'd just share that, but other than that, side skirt turned out good, and there's a pretty good gap here. I'm not sure why it's so much of a gap, because neither piece can go either way to fill that gap up, so I'm not sure. It may have to do with no, even if where somebody jacked up on the pinch weld, it wouldn't cause that. So I'm not sure what that deal is, but other than that, car's ready to go. I'm gonna pull it out. Owner's gonna pick it up I think next Saturday, so it's still gonna be here for a little while, but she's ready to go. Oh, and just had this hood dropped off, so I'm going to tomorrow open it up, take a look at it, see if there's any damage, and the next couple days he should be bringing the car over. It's for a Cadillac CTSV. I think he said it's a cow hood, but when he brings the car over, we're going to take the factory hood off, bolt this one on, because it's got these not USA, made from the USA emblems on it. So I want to make sure that it fits and the gaps look good and stuff like that. I've got the Dodge back in here this morning, and I've already took the pieces that I painted yesterday and I put them on. They have a screw that goes through here with a lock nut, and then you gotta take and put the double-sided tape trim rubber, whatever you want to call it, around the edge of the flare so it don't start scratching your paint or anything, because it goes up against the truck like this here, creates a nice seal. So got that on, got it all on both front flares. Both pieces are on. I got the bolts out of this side already, so I'm going to start putting this flare on first, and then I'm going to put the mud flap down at the bottom and do the other side, and this thing will be done. You can come pick it up. Okay, I got this side all on, and the mud flap down here, he's going to have to watch when he turns it all the way. It definitely is going to grab the mud flap and everything, which it's already been clearanced back there for the tires because they've rubbed the actual factory fender well and stuff. Somebody's cut it and notched it out and stuff like that. But I'm putting this side on over here, and I was just going to say that the kit comes with these protectors. From what I can tell, they're protectors to protect the edge of the paint just from the fender flares rubbing, so it won't mess your paint up if you end up taking them off later on. And then you also put one to cover up the oval hole that the clip uses at the top. But it uses one also here to cover up the oval hole that the clip uses to secure the flare at the center. But I'm about to stick this side on and put the mud flap on this side. So since I'm waiting on parts for the Grand Cherokee and the Chevy Cruze, and I've got the 01 Mustang, the S550, and the Ram done, just waiting for the owners to pick them up, I'm going to start back on the Nova and work on the fenders and the hood, get them in primer to match the Nova. As far as I haven't done any body work to the fenders yet. I've just got them epoxy primed, and the hood is still black. It needs to be sanded down to the yellow primer and primed when I get the body work done on the fenders, because the hood didn't have any issues as far as peeling or anything like that. So I'm gonna get back on the Nova. When I get this stuff in primer, I'm gonna get back on the 65 Mustang and start getting them quarters put on. Try and get a good bit of work done on them too before the next few smaller jobs come in and the parts come in for the Cherokee and the Cruze. Not trying to waste any time or anything like that. Try and get caught up on some of these larger all over projects, because I got more waiting on me to come, more coming waiting on me to make some room so they can get in here. So I'm gonna get after it and quit talking to y'all. So I started on the fenders here, and this mess was down here at the bottom of the passenger side fender, and I wasn't going to leave it like that shitty patch job that they did here, so I cut it out and I've started putting my new panel in. I got it tacked in. We'll let it cool down a little bit and then just finish going around slowly so I don't warp anything, and get it all welded in, and it'll be a whole lot better than this mess. So I got the patch panel all welded up. I did have to build this edge up with weld because it was all rusted away, and it did sink in on me. It is low right through here, but I believe it'll be all right. It's not too bad, but it is low. But everything else looks better, a whole lot better than the patch panel that was on it. The edge here welded up nice, so good to go. I'm going to block the rest of the fender and find all the spots that's going to need filler and start working everything. Get it all nice and straight. It's got a good bit of damage out through here, but should block out fine once I put some filler and stuff on them. May try and pull a couple of them that are in pretty far, but we're gonna keep after it. Okay, I didn't realize that I didn't have the phone on time lapse, so you didn't get to see any of me making a bunch of dust, which you probably don't care anyway. But I've got it pretty close. I've got a few low spots still on this is the passenger side fender, which it was the worst. And I got one low spot there on the driver's side fender. Rest of it, I believe, is going to be okay for first coat of primer. The hood, I've got it all stripped down. I had it propped up, taking the chrome off before I started to sand, and it slipped, fell, and put a dent in it. So I ended up having to fix that, which sucked. But could have been a lot worse. I'm happy with just getting by with the little damage that it had, because if this was a newer hood, I would have been fixing a big old crease in it. But anyway, I got it all stripped down. It's ready for, I may go over it with 180. I have it stripped down with 80 grit. Probably go over it with 180, 150, just to help the primer not have to fill in such deep scratches. And then it'll be ready for primer. Then I'll put a little bit of filler on the spot on the driver's side fender, sand it, block it. It'll be ready for primer. Fill these low spots, block it again, and then this will be ready for primer, I believe. I hope I don't have to swipe it another time. One more time, I think it'll be okay. I got 2 on it right now, which it's not thick. I mean, it's thick in a couple low spots, but not nothing crazy. I just been taking it kind of slow, swiping it thin, so I don't have to sand as much. You can see there's a lot of it is in the floor, but that'll do it. I'm gonna go inside and eat some supper, and then I may come back out here and finish so I can put some primer on tomorrow.